Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to share the uptake and absorption process of toxicants for human through skin penetration and respiratory uptake. Human exposure to toxicants can occur through the skin and respiratory routes, each representing unique pathways for absorption. The skin acts as a barrier but allows the passage of certain chemicals. Factors such as the chemical properties of the toxicant, concentration, exposure time, and skin condition influence absorption. Lipophilic substances and areas within the skin or higher blood flow exhibit higher absorption rates. The respiratory system enables direct entry of toxicants into the bloodstream. The absorption depends on particle size, solubility, volatility, and ventilation rate. Smaller particles and soluble gases penetrate deeper into the lungs, while increased breathing rates elevate exposure. And in this video, we are going to share three parts, which are the process of toxicant absorbed through the skin, uptake of the toxicant through the respiratory route, and facilitated diffusion. So, let us begin to share with the first subtopic.
Let's explore how toxins are absorbed through the skin. Before we explore the process of absorption and uptake, there are three main layers of skin, which are epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous layer. The first two layers play major component in the overall process of uptake and absorption of toxin. Now, exploring the process. Firstly, toxin must penetrate the sterile conium, the outermost skin layer. This layer acts as a barrier, but a substance can get through, depending on their size and solubility. For example, salt and starch cannot pass through, but benzene and toluene can pass through.
Once the toxicants penetrate past the stratum corneum, permeation occurs as toxicants move through the epidermis and the dermis layers. Here, they encounter cells and blood vessels. This movement is mainly driven by passive diffusion. Passive diffusion is the process by which molecules move from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration across a permeable barrier. This process occurs as well in the last stage, which is the adsorption stage. In the final stage, which is the adsorption stage, passive diffusions occur once again where toxicants enter the bloodstream through the blood capillaries in the dermis. This allows them to spread throughout the body and potentially cause systemic effects.
Let's explore how toxicants are absorbed through the respiratory system. When we breathe in, a containing toxicant enters the respiratory system through the nose or mouth, passing down the trachea and into the bronchi, which branch into smaller bronchioles and finally reach the alveoli. The alveoli are tiny air sacs in the lung where gas exchange occurs. These sacs are surrounded by a network of capillaries which are very thin blood vessels. Here, oxygen from the air we breathe diffuses into the bloodstream, and carbon dioxide is expelled. Similarly, oxygen in the air can also diffuse across the alveolar wall and enter the bloodstream. The efficiency of this process depends on several factors, including the solubility of the toxicant in the blood, the size of the particle, and the duration and concentration of exposure. Once in the bloodstream, this toxicant can be transported throughout the body, potentially causing systemic effects. It includes neurological impact, respiratory issues, and even effect on the cardiovascular and immune system. First is passive diffusion. Toxicant can passively diffuse across the respiratory epithelium, skin, and alveolar membrane, which is a higher concentration, into the bloodstream, which is lower concentration. The diffusion will continue until the concentration are equal on both sides of the membrane. Second is active transport. Some of the toxicants are unable to move with diffusion. Examples are those water-soluble or charged, which actively transport across respiratory epithelial cell.
Next is facilitated diffusion. This refers to the movement of molecules across the cell membrane with the help of carrier proteins without the use of energy. Facilitated diffusion only plays a role in uptake of polar toxicants, as most inhaled toxicants are fat soluble and do not require carrier proteins to cross the membrane. Finally, endocytosis is a cellular process involving the engulfing of substance in membrane-bound vesicles. Uptake of toxicants in the respiratory route occurs through endocytosis only under two conditions. The toxicant is large enough to prevent passive diffusion, and when specific toxicants contain properties that allow them to trigger cell surface receptors and endocytosis.
As a conclusion, the uptake and absorption of toxicants through the skin and respiratory routes are critical pathways that significantly impact human health. Skin absorption is influenced by the chemical properties of the toxicant, concentration, exposure duration, and skin condition, while respiratory absorption is governed by particle size, solubility, volatility, and ventilation rate. Recognizing these factors helps in assessing exposure risk and developing effective protective strategies. Enhanced understanding of this mechanism is essential for minimizing health risks and ensuring safety in environments where exposure to toxicants is a concern.